This will be a good indication of like what is the absolute worst for sure.
Hey, batch.
I mean,
Subway 100 bonus.
this isn't a surprise. This is not going to be a surprise to anybody. All of these games are casinos.
They are essentially glorifying gambling.
Ultimate Team,
In a
FIFA.
basketball game, you got a casino in my basketball game.
Yeah, welcome to modern day gaming, brother.
Casino in a game rated E for everyone.
Welcome to what FIFA Ultimate Team users have had for the last 11 years.
Or Peggy 3 years or older. 3-year-olds.
At this point, they're just.
Wait, sorry, okay. I'm sure 2K will run with this as well. It's surprise mechanics. It's not gambling. It looks like a slot machine, but it's just surprise mechanics like LOL dolls or Kinder Surprises. Don't forget.
This shit is never coming out of sports games if we don't do something about it. And guess what? If you don't give a shit about sports games, if this is successful, it's coming to your genre. It's coming to your games.
It's already in pretty much all the major games. Overwatch had it. They got in trouble with it. They tried. Didn't they try with Star Wars in some way, shape? I mean, it's in PUBG. I mean, Fortnite is still doing it, but they just do it via it's not a slot machine. You just, you know, microtransaction your nuts off in Fortnite. It's there.
Creeping in.
2K is...
Dude, I know this is a video that's recent. This is something that we should have been losing our minds about 8 years ago with FIFA, dude. No, I mean, it's there. It's not creeping in. It's there. The problem isn't that they have slot machines or that they have packs. It's, as he mentioned at the beginning, the rating. They are promoting this to children. That's the problem. You could argue, am hypocritical because I'm opening packs and my audience might be younger. But guess what? I do everything within my power to show my younger audience that it's wrong. I also have a Twitch channel that is literally marked for adult or mature audiences. Not just because I swear and talk about vaginas and anal and all that other psycho shit and swear, but because I play games with gambling in them. All of my channels on YouTube, I always talk about how these games are if you are under the age of legal drinking, etc. So, as a content creator, as someone that is trying to make a living, I am being responsible enough where I mark all my content for mature audiences. Hey guys, I know I'm spending money on this game, but if you are young, you shouldn't be doing this. This is gambling. It's not right. I do that. How the fuck are these AAA title games like 2K or like EA, how are they still getting away with advertising it to 3 or older kids? It's ridiculous. It's dumb. I don't have a problem with it being in the game, just like I don't have a problem with casinos being in the world. I don't have a problem with packs and Pokemon this and that you can buy from stores or whatever. But the fact that they're in the world isn't the problem. It's the fact that at least in a casino, a kid can't just walk in and walk up to a slot machine and go, hey, mommy, I'm taking $10 from you to see if I can hit 3 cherries. But they can go do it on NBA 2K and in FIFA Ultimate Team? What? That's the stupid part. I'm not boycotting casinos. You want to gamble your money away? Go for it. It's fun. Sure. If you do it responsibly or whatever, go for it. That's all good. That's not what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with it. If you are of legal age or if you are of at least responsible, you're not putting your house on a, remortgaging yourself to go to the casino, or, hopefully nobody's remortgaging themselves for FIFA or 2K, which is a cyclical yearly game. Then you'd really have an issue. But that's not the problem. It's the fact that these goddamn games are like children rated. Anyways, so I repeat, this is the part where I don't really agree with content creators when they lose their mind about like Overwatch having packs or microtransactions, or even people losing their minds about 2K having slot machines and having packs, or FIFA having packs, or PES having packs. Their PES My Team, whatever the fuck it is, I don't even remember. Everybody has a different thing. Ultimate Team at the end of the day. PES's version of Ultimate Team has packs or balls, whatever. They're a little bit better, but they're still gambling. I don't have a problem with that. It's the fact that they rate it and they advertise it to kids. That's the issue.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
If you do this on fucking YouTube, if you do this
Problem.
on
You're the
fucking
problem.
marketing materials, you're the
What I will say here, again, I repeat, is I actually heavily disagree with Angry Joe because he's going a little bit too hard. And you guys thought I was just going to fully support everything Angry Joe says, right? He goes a little bit too hard on the white knight in shining armor thing of like everything is terrible. Fuck all you guys for doing this. Fuck all you guys for doing this and whatever. Again, I agree. If they're just sitting there and opening packs and not talking about it and being dumb with the slot machines, knowing that they have a young audience where they, for example, bleep out their swear words, which I do as well. The problem is if they hide that and don't talk about it to their audience. But for all Angry Joe knows, they don't know if this guy sits here and says, hey guys, like, I'm spending money on these packs, but I'm an adult. I do this as a job. Don't get caught in ripping infinite money on packs if you're a young adult. Talk to your parents about it. We don't know. Now, do a lot of content creators do that type of stuff? No, because they're not too concerned with it. They don't really think about those ramifications. But this is the part where I don't agree with Angry Joe because you don't know. I get a lot of hate infinitely on Twitter from people like, oh, great, you're buying FIFA points again this year. Oh, great, you're playing the game again this year. Yeah. But I think at least within my power, I do everything right. Talking about it infinitely, what's right, what's wrong, whatever. So I hate it. Like if Angry Joe just saw one of my pack opening videos, he'd lose his mind as well. And then I'd get all this hate from people that don't even understand that I constantly tell my viewer base, the younger audience, that this isn't right. We constantly talk about this right here, right now, all the time for the last 5-6 years. Another big reason why EA just don't like me. Sure, I have my other issue in the past, but come on. Come on. There's people with much worse pasts. If you dig into some of these game changers' Twitter histories, holy me, most of them would lose their entire career if people bothered to look into these game changer histories, all right? A lot of people have a ton worse things they've done in their career, but it's kind of slipped beyond the whole veil. Facts with all the X's. Either way, they want to say that that's the only issue why they don't want to work with me. That's fine. End of the day, there's probably a lot of the reasons why certain companies don't want to work with me. That's also fine. But at detriment to my own success in career with EA and other companies, I've constantly said this to my younger audience, that this isn't right unless you are an adult and unless you can make an informed decision. As a kid, you shouldn't be. So again, I don't want to repeat myself, but it's one thing I disagree with Angry Joe sitting there saying F you guys to like content creators for opening packs. This guy makes money off of it. This guy's an adult. There's no issue. Does Angry Joe go into every single casino on earth and say F you to all these people in the casino because they're gambling? No. That's why I know the point he's trying to make, but he really should have a disclaimer in there of like, okay, I don't know if this guy talks to his audience or not about this being right or wrong, you know? So I love this guy's video. I love Angry Joe's videos. I think he's very, very passionate and does a lot of good things. This right here, I'm not totally in with. This is what, again, I'm going to repeat myself here because I love Angry Joe. I think this entire video is misguided and it's just like, it's like super extreme rage for the sake of selling the video and selling the whole a gambling casino, which is obviously stuff that I've talked about infinitely. Making fun of people for buying a new game because they're excited for a new season of basketball, I, again, don't agree with. I think he's missing the point. You're just shitting on people because they want to buy a new game and are excited for it. Now, again, maybe I am feeling this way defensive because I'm excited for FIFA 20. I am. And at the end of the day, it does the exact same thing, promoting gambling, constantly releasing a new cycle game with the same mechanics where everybody starts at zero again and they really want to push everybody to opening packs and quote-unquote gambling / surprise mechanic. So maybe I'm looking at it like that because if you just pay attention to someone like Angry Joe, you might think myself or Nepenthes or Kurt or Run the Fun Market are also all hypocrites because we all play the game every single year, even though we all have huge criticisms of the game. But at the end of the day, as I've explained a million times over, this is not the problem. Buying a game, okay, yes, maybe at the end of the day, the buck stops with you not supporting a company if you disagree so heavily with how they're running the game, right? So with what Joe's saying is if someone has such a huge disagreement with the gambling aspects of games, which is maybe what you could think I'm going at or getting at, then the only way to stop it is not spend money on the game or not buy the game outright. But for me, I think, and I think for a lot of people that are in the gaming industry, how many times have I said this? But I think the biggest issue, the biggest problem we have is that it's the kids and the young teens that are being exposed to this. That's my problem. I don't have a problem if NBA 2K has a what would you say would be a fair user promotion tool to, like is PG-13 something like that, like where it's like teenager or older, or what would be, there's a question for you guys, you know, whether it's in the chat or whatever, where would be a good user rating for FIFA? I'm not talking about NBA 2K. I'm not talking about FIFA 20. I'm talking about FIFA 20 Ultimate Team should have a separate game mode or purchasable game or a separate user rating, very similar to NBA 2K. I don't think is an issue, but NBA 2K My Team, those two, right? Or EA's version of NBA Live, whatever the hell it is, their Ultimate Team, Madden Ultimate Team. I'm not talking about the sports games. If they want to, you know, do with their smoke and mirrors and have a PEGI 3 EA FIFA 20 game, that's fine. But what are we talking about? The actual Ultimate Team style game modes, all of those, they should be 16 plus. Do we think that's fair? So at least when you're 16 or older, you go into the game. If you're younger, you need to get like parental permission. Maybe there's something they have to sign, like you understand that there are microtransactions situations within this game mode. There are, again, will EA or 2K ever admit the gambling aspect of their game? No, of course they won't, right? Because then they would be under entirely new laws. But there should be something where you load into Ultimate Team where you have to prove you're 16 or older, right? Like when you had to go into a store and you'd buy the new Grand Theft Auto, whatever, all of that. You know what I'm talking about? Is that so bad? 16 plus? That's all I'm saying. This is again why I disagree with guys like Angry Joe, because they're going too hard in the paint on what doesn't matter. I understand the overall point of what they're making, where gambling in video games is fucked up, but gambling is everywhere. Gambling in sports is everywhere. Casinos are everywhere. Different forms of gambling are everywhere. You know, responsible adults dealing with that stuff have dealt with that stuff their whole life. That is not necessarily the issue. If you're irresponsible or you have an addictive personality as an adult, gambling is horrendous for you or anybody. And or if you're an impressionable young adult that doesn't understand the repercussions of wasting all your money on any type of game in terms of gambling, those are the problems. So again, for like the fourth time, Joe, I'm going to let him just get his point across here, but I heavily disagree with where he's going with this, man. I really do. This is, though, like, I gotta give it to, like, PES and EA and stuff like that. As much as the whole surprise mechanics with packs and stuff are obviously, like, a gambling slot machine style, you know, of thing, the fact that 2K have literally gone with a slot machine is mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing.
Our business manager was telling people about this, that in certain circles, he's heard that they do increase the odds of loot boxes and drops for influencers when they're paid to open loot boxes.
Yeah, come on now. Come on now. Are we really going down that route? Are we really now spreading false rumors as well, Angry Joe? Do you genuinely think anybody content streamer wise is being, if they're being paid to play a game in open packs, do you think their packs, do you think someone like 2K or EA would juice their packs up? Do you understand the legal ramifications of that? We all saw what happened to, what are those two guys that ran the CS website, and the storm that happened from that, and there was still no proof that their stuff was being juiced and a little bit, I can't remember their names off the top of my head, which is probably good for them, right? Syndicate, and I can't remember the other guy who really got hit the hardest, T Martin. Okay, that does, like, what he, again, even what he's saying here is just, it's just not true. I agree, though, streamers sitting there and opening packs to a young audience, if they don't have their streams age gated like I do, yes, you are advertising gambling to kids. I don't care if you're a big FIFA streamer or a small FIFA streamer. If you're not doing what I'm doing, where you announce on your stream that this is for mature audiences, if you're someone ripping packs open, you are part of the problem. I do agree with Angry Joe. But again, he's just kind of doing what EA does a lot of the time, where he's just labeling everybody. I take great offense to this because I do everything I can to try and show that this stream, and it hurts me monetarily. I probably cut out 80% of my audience by saying that this is a mature stream, that you need to know what you're clicking into, right? So parents are loading into it. They see this and they're like, oh, we'll just go watch another content creator or whatever. But that needs to be said because I'm getting lumped in with this now, right? I get this hate all the time, all over Twitter. Oh, you're part of the problem. You open packs, even on your road to glory. You're sitting there opening rivals packs and whatever. Well, yeah. But I'm marketing myself to a mature audience. That's not the issue. Right or wrong, dudes? Right or wrong? But what he's saying right here, very accurate. A kid growing up on playing FIFA Ultimate Team without parental guidance, being groomed through the years. I've said this legitimately since I became a content creator in 2013 and played Ultimate Team, dude. It is predatory. And you've got a kid at 10 playing FIFA 13 Ultimate Team, now is like, whatever, let's say 17. They've just had years and years and years of this. Now they're adults, but they don't have that concept that this shit isn't good. How many times do I say, just because you see me spend money on the game, I earn a living off of all this shit. That's why I do it. Years and years, 5 years straight of not spending money on the game on my road to glories, but that wasn't any better. I'm putting 12 hours a day onto my road to glory. You shouldn't do that either. So you got to talk about this with your user base. You guys need to talk about this with me. All of it's not good if you don't talk about it. Again, I'm sure Angry Joe, there's certain games he grinds his brain out. Am I going to go sit there and roast him and say, oh, but you play CS 10 hours a day? You're part of the problem. You really think kids should be playing 10 hours a day of games? It's all relative, man. And again, that's my biggest issue with this video, or people going in on the whole gambling aspect or the whole system itself, is we got to be specific in what we're targeting and what we want fixed. If you just want to burn down the industry and saying gambling in games is terrible, that doesn't actually get things better. It doesn't. In a lot of ways, it really doesn't. But if you target the actual problems, the fact that it is advertising gambling to kids with the PEGI 3 rating, get that changed within Ultimate Team to 16 plus, now we're really talking. Now we're really talking about proper improvements, period. Kids and parents need to talk about this stuff as well. I feel like they don't. That's another societal issue in and of itself, John, right? For sure. I mean, trust me, I'm not going to depend on EA or the YouTubers my son watches, who's now 7, to be educated on what's right and wrong within the online space, you know? I'm not going to get, but that's me as a parent. I'm a bit different. So I feel like, because a lot of kids out there might have like the vacation parents, the type of parents that are just work all day, aren't really too involved in their kids' lives, just hand them all the iPads and iPhones and everything, and let the iPhones and whatever, you know, deal with the kids until nighttime. They feed them and then they go. There's just a lack of proper parenting. Of course, that's definitely something that needs to happen, but I think at the same time, it is within my and other people's and even Angry Joe's or even EA's, it's within our control to at least make some sort of a positive influence and not always just look at the bottom dollar. There's plenty of money to be made for everybody. So what if I put my freaking streams and videos on mature audience and I lose a little bit of money? Who gives a shit, dude? I'm still earning a living. I'm still keeping a roof over my head. It's all good. It's just you just want these companies to do the same thing. A lot of parents don't know about what are in video games. They still think that video games are the same as when they were young. But again, A+ and anybody else that thinks like that, you're not wrong, but that's the parents' fault. Like, parents, if you want to be a successful parent in any way, shape, or form and try and raise a good kid and all of that stuff, you want to at least be involved with what's going on with your kids, man. Like, if you don't, you get this epidemic of teenage suicide rates that's going on. Now we're getting really into it. But you get this epidemic of teenage suicide rates that's going on between like middle schoolers. Because their parents, again, are just giving them phones and giving them access to unlimited access to Instagram and Twitter. So then the bullying that, no matter what generation you are, happens in high school. All the kids are end of the day, kids are kids without proper parents unfortunately end up being more because they have no one to check them at the door, no one to fix those bad habits and whatever, right? But back in the day, there wasn't this Instagram thing where the bullying would then just follow you home, you know, on Instagram and whatever, and you getting abused and bullied and like that. So yes, dude, across the board, the lack of parenting is obviously the in and above all biggest issue, but I mean, I can't be a parent to every single person out there, right? That's not the subject at hand, I suppose, but it's a very important topic. Absolutely.
Come on.
End of the day here, 2K removed the video after all of this, of course, and that's another problem. That is another problem. So I think in terms of, I mean, it's crazy. I've been talking about this so much that ergo 2K has actually finished downloading. So for the first time for me in about 15 years, I'm gonna play a basketball game. Barkley's Shut Up and Jam is the last game that I've bothered to play. But we're gonna dip into it, and unbelievably, I'm not gonna go into the My Team section. I'm gonna go into like the pro clubs, my career thing, and see. Let me see over the next couple of days, without spending money on this game, right? We've seen over 5 years me not spending money on FIFA Ultimate Team, where I've been able to take the game. That's in the Ultimate Team. But in, let's say, my career, let me see how far I can take it without spending money on the game, which I'm very interested in. But I mean, to end this topic entirely, and to finish it off, I do agree with what a lot of people are saying. I've been saying it for years about gambling being a problem, boys. But to finish it off, the real issue is that it's targeting children and making kids think that it's fine and grooming them into thinking that gambling and lighting your Sunday money and eventually maybe your actual money and putting all of your resources into something like this that recycles every year is right when it's wrong, right? That's what I think we should always close with and end with, is that concept is incorrect. If you're a dad and you want to spend some money on the game, no one should make you feel bad for it. If you're a kid in college and you want to spend some money on this game and you've worked hard and you use this game or you use this game as a way to de-stress and whatever, and you're spending a little bit of money on packs or the goddamn slot machine, but you understand what they actually are, which is gambling, then that's fine too. No hate from me ever. But it's all the youngins out there, man, that I'm concerned with. So I guess we'll leave it at that.